Hello. Welcome to the replay. It is Monday, December 28th, 2020, the last Monday of 2020. And I'm here for it. I am here for it. I really am, just because I'm ready for it to go. So I'm excited about this Mondays with Mo. Um, I'm just excited about this conversation, and I hope you are as well. So, welcome. If this is your first time here, you are at the Confetti Collective, and we are a personal growth platform for women like you. We inspire and empower and provide the resources for women to take ownership, take responsibility, and take up space in their lives. And I am Mo James, certified confidence coach and founder of the Confetti Collective. And Mondays with Mo is my weekly, there we go, y'all. That light was killing me. My weekly show, live show, where I pop in and just have real conversations with you. Not that we don't have real conversations any other time, but Monday is just really my day because we just came out of the weekend and I probably have had some experiences or some revelations that I need to share. And this gives us the perfect opportunity to chat. So I'm excited to be here with you to talk about what did you learn in 2020? If you haven't been thinking about it, this week you will probably maybe be thinking about it. You may see conversations happening about it all over your social media and all over the news and all these other things, because this, as we close this chapter, as we close a chapter, people naturally start to think about, most people naturally start to reflect and think about what has happened that got them to this point. At least I know I do. So I want to share with you a couple of things for me that I have learned. And then I want to share a bit of a lesson, a takeaway from a conversation that I had with a woman in our community, because I also think it will be helpful. So if you're watching live, or even if you're watching on replay, drop a hey or an emoji in the comment just so I can know that you are tuning in. I'm interested in knowing how you are doing. And if you don't want to drop an emoji, let me know how your holiday was. How was your Christmas? What did you do? What did you eat? Was it Christmas dinner or not? I didn't want anything remotely related to Christmas to eat. Nothing. I did not. Walked around for a day or two after, forgetting that Christmas had just happened because, 2020. So before we jump into this conversation about what did we learn, I want to share two quick housekeeping notes. So first, if you are following us, if you have been following us within the last couple of weeks, if you visited our website recently, you already know that the Kiss It Goodbye sale is going on right now. It is still going on. And there are less than 10 items left in the whole store. Less than 10. I actually think it's like eight. Eight things left. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited about eight things being left. I'm ready to get these last eight gone. So if you haven't visited our website to grab the thing, now is the time to do it. Our affirmation based jewelry is being phased out. We are liquidating our inventory. So head on over there, theconfetticollective.com/shop. We will in the next couple of weeks or so, the website will be getting redesigned. And once it's redesigned, we come back all brand new and shiny, is not going to be any jewelry there. So just head on over, check that out. Also, shipping for our sister store, inspiredconfidence.me, is pretty much almost back to normal, as everybody else that's in the e-commerce shipping business. We had some slight delays that started Black Friday up until like this morning. So, but those have pretty much been resolved and handled. So things are mostly back to normal as far as shipping. If you are checking out the inspiredconfidence.me shop, the shipping information is on the website. So we try to make it as plain as possible. We don't want any surprises. I don't need y'all emailing talking about where's my stuff. The deadlines are there and all of that. So let's get into 2020. What did we learn? Let me check the comments because I didn't have them up yet. All right. So, hey, Teresa. Hey, Drea. Christine says, I made homemade pizza, found out on Christmas Eve that a close family member is COVID positive. Oh my gosh, had to do it all via FaceTime and keep from spreading. Yes, it definitely changed. This thing has changed everything, right? Uh, yeah, changed everything. But I'm glad to hear that you still had a good day, Christine. That's all we can do is what we can do. That that's not on my list, but that is definitely something that 2020 taught me or re-taught me. All we can do is what we can do. We can't control anything that anybody else does. We can only control our actions. So for me, something that I believe I have probably said this in conversations at least once a day for the past 2 months. You can't control anybody else. You can only control you. And when I say it to other people, it's also a reminder for myself. That right there has been a significant lesson for me that has allowed me to really create more peace around me because I'm not tripping about stuff that other people are doing that would frustrate me because I am not setting myself up for the disappointment that I could possibly control them because I can't. I can only control me. So Drea says we've had shipping delays too. One of them got sent to Indiana. Listen, a whole set of shenanigans with this shipping thing. So let's talk about what did you learn? So this year, I mean, can we all agree that 2020 is a historic year? I mean, that's because I don't want to use a different word. Like I don't want to I don't want to use any other word. So I'm going to just call it historic. Adventurous. We'll call it that. It has been that, you know, and because it's been that for me, it has also presented historic learning opportunities, right? Um, and I know when I say stuff like that, people are always like, well, Mo, everything isn't a lesson. Like everything isn't designed to teach you something. And to which I say, oh, but it is. At least for me. At least for me. I don't believe that anything happens just because it happens. I don't believe in coincidences or anything like that. And given the gravity of the 2020ness of this year, there absolutely have to be lessons to come out of this. Otherwise, I might have to start drinking. So there have to be lessons, right? There have to be. There have to be lessons. So for me, I believe that life is always trying to teach us stuff. That's definitely what I believe. And when you operate on a level where you are open to receiving the lessons and perhaps even looking for the lessons, then you'll get the lessons. You know, the old folks used to say, whatever you're going around looking for, be careful that you don't find it. So for me, going around, I look for lessons in everything. So I usually find lessons. And I think again, that's just about controlling what we can control. I can't control the things that happen. I can control how I respond. So I believe in this historic year that there are historic learning opportunities. Historic learning opportunities. Kay says, this has been a whole lesson in, but did you die? I mean, I'm laughing, but yeah, it's really. Yes, Christine says, I'm ready for it to be capital DONE. Correct. Stephanie says, and unbelievable is a good word too. Unbelievable, historic. I don't want to use unprecedented because the people say that on the news and I'm sick of hearing that. Drea says, I learned that I must always stay flexible, learn to make a new product with materials I do have available, and learn to keep my mind, eyes, and ideas always open. Yes, yes, and yes. And again, when you operate from that space of being open to receive, then you will receive. If you walk around life, like this, you're not going to receive anything. That's just me. So I want to share with you all two lessons, or probably even reminders for myself that I have learned. Continue to drop what you've learned in the comments. because this is gonna be good. I'm excited to share these with you. So first, the first thing that I learned from 2020 is how much of an empath I really am. And I know some of you are going to be surprised to hear that, but I have said this, and this is definitely true. I am an introvert wrapped in a crunchy extrovert shell. And with my introvertedness, I am also an empath. I feel things very intensely. I feel energy. I feel feelings. I feel a lot, which is why when I am around, which is why people drain me. People exhaust me, okay? Because I feel the energy. I feel what's not being said. I feel what's happening in between the words. I feel all of it. So when I am in spaces like that, it it literally sucks the life out of me. It sucks the life out of me. And this year reminded me of how much of an empath I really am. And with that recognition, I had to change how I do. You know. Once you know things, you can't continue to act like you don't know things. And I had to change how I do. you know? Be be more selective. Be even more selective about who gains entry into the gate. Because we're not about putting up walls around ourselves. We're about putting up gates. Because walls block everybody. When you have a gate, you get to decide who gains entry. So for me, having that reminder, awareness of my empathetic nature and how peopling just is not what I want to do. I had to put another filter on the gate, just to be more selective for self-preservation. That's it. Like it's about self-preservation. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I learned that 2020 taught me, and this is a new thing, an old thing with a new twist, is when we do all of this work, because I don't know about you all, but for me, the pause, the slowdown, the whatever we call it, really gave me an opportunity to go deeper in a lot in this next phase of my self discovery. Whereas normally, the last quarter or so of the year, I kind of start to quiet things down, start to scale back because I'm starting to do my own reflection and things like that. Well, this year, I got to do that, do the express version, but also the intensive version. So I got it done in a shorter amount of time, but I went deeper than I probably have ever been able to. And coupled with the fact that I'm over 40, so I don't have time for foolishness. Like I can't, I don't I don't. So 2020 really just gave me an opportunity to get very clear quicker on the type of woman that I want to be in all of my relationships. Because I understand, as women, as mothers, as sister friends, as all the things that we have a tendency to compartmentalize ourselves depending on how we show up, depending on where we are, depending on our environment. You show up at work and it's this version. But when you're at home, it's this version. And then with your friends, it's this version. And with your family, it's this version. You know what I decided? I only have one version. I only have one. And I'm going to be her all the places because I want to. You're going to get the whole thing or no thing. That's just the way it is. Because it's like that, and that's the way it is. So it is no longer pieces of a person or slants or flavors of a person in different spaces. It's all of it or none of it. And once I recognize, again, going back to that number one thing, once I feel that the energy is off and that it's not right, and I don't necessarily need to have to explain it either. I just know it's not right. Can I tell y'all? Okay, so listen. So once upon a time, my younger brother had this girlfriend. This is gonna be a tangent. He had his girlfriend, and I remember the day that I met her, I did not like her, and that is not Mo just being I don't like people. I really did not like her. And it was weird because I couldn't pretend. It was so strong. I couldn't even like change my face to look like I liked her a little bit. I couldn't do it. And I'll never forget this brother, this was his girlfriend, and another family member saying to me, "Why don't you like her? She's so nice." Even to go so far as to imply that I might have been jealous of her. I was like, for one, I don't even know her, but I know I don't like her. And it wasn't long afterward. It wasn't long afterward that her craziness came out and the foolishness and all of the mess came out, and it was shenanigans. I did not go back and say I told you so, but it was implied. Let me just say that. So, in this season, for me, I'm going to show up with the one version of me that I have. It's just one. You know what? I'm now the Voltron. Like all of the pieces, it's now fully integrated, and we're just all just together. It's no more this version for this place and this version for this. It's just all the Voltron all together all the time. And once I kind of pick up and recognize that something isn't right, again, that first lesson, that unofficial lesson, I can't control other people. I can only control me. Then I will make the decisions. Some of them will be difficult. They won't always be easy to make. People won't always like them. All of that is okay. I'm okay with all of that. Because in the interest of self-preservation, I'm going to have to exit stage left, or I'm going to have to do something different. I'm not staying around to argue or to explain or to beg or beseech or to ask or to request or to inquire. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not doing none of that. I'm just going to control what I can control, and that's me, and do something different. Thank you, 2020, for that. That's just it. Those are my two. So those are my two and a possible lessons that 2020 taught me. Because I'm just not for the stuffs anymore. I'm just not for it. So recently, again, because we're at this time of year, I have been having conversations with women, with friends, with sister friends, with family, and really, people are doing their own self-reflection and all of that stuff. And was talking to somebody about just them having this realization of a pattern that shows up in their life, where they keep getting into situationships, whether it's intimate relationship or friendship or co-worker thing, situationship, where they keep getting undesirable patterns. So it's like, well, this is always happening. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Well, I always end up with this. Or how does this keep happening to me? Like those types of things. And we were talking, and they were, again saying, okay, this is happening again. Remember when it happened here, and remember the similar thing with this, and remember and all of these things. So I asked her, why do you think you are a magnet for these types of things? Because or going back to the whole empath thing, why is your gate open for these types of things? Why are these types of things showing up at your doorstep? Because you can't control what shows up, but you can control what you allow entry to. So that turned into a conversation about, kind of her giving herself the room to autopsy why she was attracting what she said she didn't want. Because it's one thing to say stuff, it's a whole different thing to walk that out, to walk out the words, right? It's a totally different thing to live out. I mean, can we talk? I'm gonna be petty for a second. We know, a lot of us probably know people who profess to know Jesus. Yet, when you examine their behavior, mm, but anyway, so it's one thing to say, I believe this, I profess this, I want this, and yet we find ourselves in situations repeatedly, because when one time, you know, it's a mistake. But 3, 4, 5, 7 times, that's a pattern. And you have to look at yourself and wonder, and then ask and investigate why this thing keeps happening. Why does this thing that you say you don't want keep showing up in your life? And not just showing, but showing up like in your house, showing up in your bedroom, showing up at your work job. Why? In all of these spaces where you operate, why do these things keep showing up? So I wanted to share that one with you, just in case the other ones you couldn't relate to. This one, I definitely think every woman at any point in her life can understand, probably recognize, and probably also relate to, because we've all been there. So again, with this time, just we're counting down the days, and peeping through the door and telling 2021, don't come in here with no foolishness. It also gives us an opportunity to really just evaluate ourselves, to really look at ourselves, because we've been too busy to do it before, or at least that's what we told ourselves. We was too distracted. We was at the mall. We were doing all of these extra things, everything else but doing this. And this pause gave us an opportunity, like it removed all of the excuses so that we didn't have a choice. And I know for me, I really dug deep into that self-discovery. Can I tell y'all something? The digital self-discovery cards that we launched Black Friday, those were inspired directly by a lot of my process for my own inner work. That's why those cards are not just affirmation cards, because again, one thing to say the words, a totally different thing to walk it out. That's why it's a combination of questions that you have to that you should answer. I would strongly encourage you to answer. Exercises, things for you to do, and thought prompts. So it's all three, because for me, I want the process to be complete. I don't want to get you, high off the good feelings, and then you go home and you're like, but what do I do? How do I translate those good feelings into action in my life on a day-to-day basis? That matters to me. So, yeah, I just gave y'all an explanation for a whole lot of things about why we're doing stuff differently going into the new year. But 2020 has taught us a lot, like I said, with all the grief and the loss and the chaos and the everything, historic shenanigans, historic, all of it. There are also there were also historic opportunities to learn, or opportunities to learn historic lessons, because I know for me that this year, I will come out of this year having made a more significant transformation that I have made ever in my adult life. I know that to be true for a fact. So, yeah, That's what it is for me. I hope you give yourself an opportunity. If you hadn't already been doing it, I hope you take these last few days and you give yourself that opportunity to really think about all the things. Maybe go through your old text messages and or go through your photo gallery just to kind of refresh. If you journal, great. You wrote it down, sis. Good. Go back through that journal and really give yourself the room to explore what all of those things mean um, for you. So I am going to scroll through the comments because I know y'all been dropping stuff. Let me see. Let me see. Energy. Drea says energy is a big thing. Listen, I feel all of it. I feel all of it. Teresa said a gate with some combination. Teresa. Kay said I learned a lot about myself this year. This downtime has been a blessing. You know what, Kay? It feels weird to say that when you think about the loss and the everything that people are experiencing, but that's life. And again, one of those things that we can't control. So yes, I know for me, this has been, like I said, it's been the most transformational year for me as a woman, and that transformation has definitely uh, expanded to include my relationships. So I appreciate all of it. I appreciate all of it. Um, Drea says, I can't like this enough. The one version of me, this is all you're going to get, okay? This is it. The downtime has cleansed my people palate. I can taste folks and their foolery quicker. Yes, yes, and yes. I love that, Kay. Christine says, I think the biggest thing I've realized about myself this year is my adaptability. Yes. Had to remain flexible and keep a positive outlook in a very unknown future. That's a superpower right now, Christine. There are a lot of people struggling just because, okay, in my opinion, control has always been an illusion, but there are a lot of people really struggling right now because the uncertainty level has just increased tremendously. So yes, that is a superpower to be able to stay positive when the future is unknown. That is so true. I'm more flexible than I originally gave myself credit for. Give yourself credit, Christine. Pat yourself on the back for that. Yes, yes, yes. Stephanie says you have to change the frequency you send out to change what you receive. Now you just gonna go preach a whole word and try to turn that into a science lesson too. I'm here for all of it. Yes, yes, and yes. When you change your frequency, I have a friend, I talked to her today. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. She always says that. And it is the simplest thing, and it is 100% true. 100% true. Human nature, I think, is too hard. It is hard for people to change. It is hard for people to change. It is hard for people to tell the truth. Okay, we have grown adult people that still are here lying like they are children who get caught with their hands in a cookie jar. So if they are lying to other people, you know they are lying to themselves. That is sad to me. That is sad to me. So yeah, just lying for no reason. Just can't even admit you can't admit the sky is blue. That's just yeah. 2020 was a time for emotional and mental reset to set me up for a refresh in 2021. I love it. So, Stephanie, I think I must have heard somebody say that, and it really it's true. 2020 is not the new decade. The new decade starts 2021. 2021 through 2030. 2020 is like the transition time. It's like it is the reset. It's the time to clear the palette, to get things, maybe you got to tear some things down, to get things right again. And then in the 1 year, you start to rebuild. This was our reset. This was our opportunity to recognize all of the things that we hadn't been addressing, all of the things that we hadn't been telling the truth about, all of the things that we hadn't been dealing with, that we hadn't been confronting. And this was our chance to get it right. to get it right. And then in the 1 year, we can be out the gate with clarity, with new vision, with new energy, with new everything. You know what, y'all? I wasn't planning on talking about this today, but we are going to be doing on, I think it's January 16th. I think that's the date. We're going to be doing a life class. I'm going to be teaching a life class. You know, and I'll tell you all about this in the official announcement, but the it feels like we're just going there kind of naturally, organically. Uh, Reset, renew, rebound. That's the theme. January 16th, I think. I think that's the date. But it's going to be a live class where normally we would do a vision board class. And, you know, like I said, you make your vision board and then you go home and you put it up and it's like, what do I do with it? I wanted to change that whole experience. So we're not making vision boards. We're creating visions for our lives. Reset, renew, rebound. So I'll tell y'all about that later. But this, y'all are already there. We're already there. This year did slow me down to really think about and take care of me. Yes, ma'am. Listen to me. My teenager is in here scheduling her self-care and making her smoothies and doing her skincare mask. Like she has it together. She has it together. So for me, as her mother, I'm like, okay, if she's doing it, I mean, I know she learned it from me, but I need to get back to that. I need to be more intentional about that. So yeah, we new energy. This was the reset. This is the time to establish new patterns. The new things that you tried this year will become the patterns and the processes that will be second nature to you, that will be non-negotiables to you in the coming years. We had the opportunity to create some new patterns right now, and I just all of it. I'm just excited for all of it. Every bit. All right. So do you all have any other questions, comments, anything? I'm done. This was good. This was good. We ended for this last Mondays with Mo. This was absolute perfection. I am so grateful for every single one of you that are part of our online squad, that are part of our community. I just appreciate you. I really do. I truly do appreciate you. And if you have never heard me say that, then I'm gonna make that right this day before we end this year. I appreciate you for being a part of this community. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate all of it. I appreciate you. You who are watching this, I appreciate you. And I hope that you are getting yourself ready for the newer, better year that is coming. And I have to believe that, not even believe, this is what I know. I know 2021 is going to be better because all the lessons that I learned in 2020, I'm applying that knowledge. So I'm going to move in 2021 with better tools, with sharper tools, with a new awareness that I didn't have when I came into this year. So I am grateful for all of it. The crumbs. I'm grateful for every bit of it. And I hope that you are too. Continue to keep the conversation going. Oh, wow. Okay, so I missed these comments. Okay, so this year I confronted a couple of lies I had been telling myself. Listen, Kay, you are not the only one, sis. Okay? I mean, if we want to tell the truth, like this, we've all done it. We've all done it. Level the old foundation to rebuild with a new foundation and new structure. Yes, 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 yes. Y'all are coming through with the wisdom tonight. I appreciate this. Christine said, I appreciate these combos. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. You better yell, Christine. Yell really loud. So listen, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. We're going to be doing the most. We're going to be making decisions that are in the interest of our self-preservation and self-development. We are going to be dealing with the things like grown adult whole women and handling stuff and not letting things fester and not expecting people to read our minds and all these other things. We just going to be honest. We just going to tell the truth to ourselves and to the people around us. So I am so grateful for all of it. I'm grateful for every bit of it. The journey, the everything. And I'm just thankful to have you all on this journey with me. And yeah, we're going to be all right. So I thank you all so much. I thank y'all so much. I appreciate you tremendously. I thank you for being here. I thank you, thank you, thank you. If there is a woman that came to mind while we were having this conversation, because this is what we do. We have these real conversations, and I believe that every woman can benefit from these real conversations. You know what inspires these conversations for me a lot is eavesdropping on the conversations that as a kid, I heard my mom and her girlfriends having at the kitchen table. Like, this is what it is. This is what it is. I was that kid. I would eavesdrop. I would be in the kitchen and, around the living room, just listening to them having grown women conversations and just keeping it real. Keeping it real. And that is the vibe, that is the environment that I hope we will elevate in 2021. Um, because growth is inevitable to the woman who was ready for it. And I'm ready. And I hope y'all are too. So I thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 2020, we almost done with you. You're not quite gone yet, but your bags are packed and they are by the door. Okay? Don't leave out of here with no foolishness. And don't take nothing that does not belong to you. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for being here. You are amazing. You are awesome. You are fabulous. And you got everything you need to do everything you want to do and to have everything you want to have. So let's stop doubting ourselves and go do it. All right. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you. 2021, ready. Bye.